Hi, good evening. Welcome along to the Transfer Show on a day of developments in Manchester United's pursuit of Brian Mbeumo and Chelsea's push for a new #1 goalkeeper. Well, our reporters, Kaveh Solokol and Mark McAdam, are the men in the know to bring you the very latest stories, which also include an update on Luis Diaz's future as Liverpool reject a bid from one of the top clubs in Europe. Plus, the Manchester City rebuild shows no sign of slowing down. We'll bring you an interview with their target, Ryan Aitnuri. Right, we're going to start with the news that Kaveh broke about 20 minutes ago on Victor Osimhen. Give it to us again, please.
Well, look, Al Hilal have made an offer to Napoli for Victor Osimhen, who's widely regarded as being one of the best strikers in the world. This offer was worth around £55 million. Now, according to our colleagues at Sky Italy, Napoli have just rejected this offer. And their position is that if Al Hilal want Osimhen, they need to pay the release clause, which is around £63 million. Now, we're expecting Al Hilal to go back in with an improved offer of around £59 million, but I'm not sure that is going to be enough to get him. He's got a year left on his contract. He's 26. He spent last season out on loan at Galatasaray. And Sky Italy are also telling us that he hasn't agreed personal terms with Al Hilal either. But they're willing to offer him £22 million a year, tax-free. That is about £425,000 a week.
Let's be honest, you're not getting out of bed for that, are you? All right, so there's been further developments with Mohammed Kudus today that you brought us earlier. Give us that one as well.
Well, look, Chelsea have been offered Chelsea have been offered the opportunity to sign Mohammed Kudus from West Ham. Now, they haven't said no yet. I think they're considering whether to add him to their list of attacking targets. They're going to consider whether he is a player who they are interested in signing. He's somebody, of course, who 2 years ago, West Ham signed from Ajax for £38 million. And he had a really great first season in the Premier League, played really well under David Moyes. But I think West Ham have realised that they had a really, really disappointing season. They need a rebuild. They need to raise funds. And I think pretty much they would listen to offers for any of their players, probably apart from Jared Bowen or Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because they need to have a rebuild. So he has been offered to Chelsea.
I have to say I'm surprised because I think he's a player. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I think he's quality. I don't think he was at his best last season, but he's one of those Maverick-style wingers that can open the door, he can make something happen from nothing, he can just do something or nick a goal and change the dynamic of the game. And he's got that ability to carry the ball up the pitch as well, and that's something that can be crucial in the Premier League. Really good on the transition, but like Kaveh says, this is a funny window where there are a lot of clubs that are trying to rebuild, and they have to recycle money, and they have to find money, and they have to raise money, and that means sometimes selling maybe one of your best players to try and get 2 or 3 more in.
Yeah, indeed. We were talking earlier as well about Chelsea and a possible top goalkeeper. Give us some more on that.
Well, actually, you know what happened during the discussions about Mohammed Kudus with the possibility of him moving from West Ham to Chelsea? During those discussions, Robert Sanchez was brought up about potentially moving from Chelsea to West Ham. Now, I think this would make sense in a lot of ways because we know West Ham are looking for a goalkeeper because Lucas Fabianski has left. And Robert Sanchez has worked in the past with Graham Potter, the West Ham manager, when the two of them were together at Brighton. Now, could Robert Sanchez leave Chelsea? I don't know. I don't think they're actively trying to sell him. But of course, we know that they are interested in signing Mike Maignan from AC Milan. Now, he's another player who's been offered to them. France #1 goalkeeper. He's about to be 30, but that's not too old for a top-class goalkeeper. The issue is valuation. Milan want £25 million. Chelsea think he's worth more, closer to £10 million, because he's got a year left on his contract. And he has said to AC Milan, I want to move to Chelsea. and I'm not going to sign a new deal. And if I don't move, I'm just going to stay here, and my contract will run out, and I will leave on a free transfer next summer. I think if Chelsea do sign a goalkeeper, it's likely to be before the end of next week when they fly off to the US for the Club World Cup.
Mark, how many goalkeepers do Chelsea need? Because Kepa's come back as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, so obviously
Kepa out 75.
Yeah, he was, a hugely expensive goalkeeper at the time. Another one that was paid big money. One of the reasons why they were able to facilitate that loan deal to Bournemouth from Chelsea last summer was because he had 1 year left on his contract, but renegotiated and signed a 2-year deal with a release clause. So it enabled him to go out on loan. He goes back to Chelsea this summer, and then effectively they can sell him and raise some kind of money for the money that they invested in him in the first place. He had a really strong season down on the South Coast, was outstanding for Andoni Iraola at times, pulled off some really good saves and was a part of a record-breaking season. It was the best Bournemouth defence they've ever had in the Premier League by some distance. They conceded, I think it was about 43 goals over the entirety of the campaign, where their Premier League record was 61. So Kepa very much a part of that. And like you talk about all of these goalkeepers that Chelsea have, and one of the fascinating things about last season was Robert Sanchez was the Premier League goalkeeper, played 32 Premier League games, only once in the Europa Conference League. But it was Philip Jorgensen that played vast majority of the Conference League matches. So they very clearly had two different goalkeepers. But I think if you were to spend a bit of time working out how many they've got, it would probably almost get into double figures.
All right, I want to get to Liverpool.
To be fair to Chelsea, though, I know a lot is made of how many goalkeepers they've got, but they've got two goalkeepers they used a lot last season, one in the league, one in Europe. They've got a goalkeeper out on loan at Strasbourg, who's their parent club, sister club, who's done very, very well. They've got Kepa, who was on loan at Bournemouth, a goalkeeper they inherited from the previous owners. The other goalkeeper they have is Mark Penders, brilliant young goalkeeper, Belgium, who's supposed to be the new Thibaut Courtois. They signed him last summer, £20 million from Genk. He stayed out on loan at Genk. So I know the headline is Chelsea have got all these goalkeepers.
Which you know I'm going to use.
But if you actually break it down,